Amazon just launched an AI healthcare assistant that can help renew prescriptions, explain medical records, and book doctor appointments through its website and mobile app. According to TechCrunch on March 10, 2026, Amazon deployed this healthcare AI assistant with capabilities to answer health questions and integrate with user health records. While the TechCrunch article confirms these core features, specific details about prescription renewal automation, appointment booking mechanics, and data security protocols require verification from the full reporting. What we do know is this: Amazon is now positioned as a healthcare intermediary, sitting between patients and their actual medical providers. This isn't just a chatbot. This is infrastructure. Think about what happens at scale. If millions of people start using Amazon's AI instead of calling their pharmacy or emailing their doctor's office, you're looking at a fundamental restructuring of healthcare administration. But here's the business model question. When millions of people use Amazon's healthcare AI instead of calling pharmacies, Amazon gains access to prescription and health data. The TechCrunch article doesn't detail Amazon's specific data collection practices or privacy safeguards, but historically Amazon has monetized user data through insights and recommendations. This pattern suggests healthcare data could follow the same trajectory. That data, your prescriptions, your health conditions, your medication history, tells Amazon which health conditions are most common, which medications are most prescribed, which patients are most likely to need follow-up care. Amazon can then use that data to negotiate better prices with pharmaceutical companies, recommend Amazon's own health products, or sell insights to insurance companies. This is exactly how Amazon turned retail into a data business. They're applying the same playbook to healthcare. Amazon's not doing this out of the goodness of their heart. They're building the infrastructure to become a healthcare intermediary, the company between you and your actual medical care. This is the same strategy that made them dominant in retail. First, they make it so convenient you can't imagine going anywhere else. Then they own the relationship. But Amazon's move is just one piece of a much larger story about government-grade AI moving into consumer products. According to announcements from Polymarket and Palantir Technologies, the prediction market platform partnered with Palantir to integrate Palantir's AI technology into its infrastructure. Here's where it gets interesting. Palantir's technology was originally built for intelligence agencies, representing the kind of pattern recognition capability that governments use to analyze massive datasets for national security purposes. Now it's being applied to consumer prediction markets where regular people can bet on whether the Federal Reserve will raise interest rates or whether it'll rain next Tuesday. Polymarket and Palantir announced the partnership, but specific details about which Palantir AI technologies are being integrated, expected accuracy improvements, and the timeline for full implementation have not been publicly disclosed. The significant angle here is that you're getting access to institutional-grade forecasting tools. Palantir's AI is recognized for finding patterns in massive datasets that humans typically miss. The partnership represents government-grade AI moving to consumer markets, but measurable impact remains unverified. When enterprise-grade technology gets applied to crowdsourced prediction markets, the theory is that you could create more accurate forecasting systems. But should we be comfortable with government-grade AI being used to predict markets? That's a question nobody's really asking yet. Notice the pattern emerging. Government-grade AI is moving from classified intelligence agencies into consumer products. That's the real story nobody's paying attention to. Now, here's where things get uncomfortable. Anthropic, the company behind Claude AI, published research identifying jobs most and least likely to be affected by AI. But here's the thing that should make you pause. Anthropic is the company making the AI that could potentially displace these workers. So they're essentially publishing analysis on which careers might get automated, potentially by their own technology. Anthropic published research identifying jobs most and least vulnerable to AI automation. However, the research methodology, specific job categories identified, and displacement timelines cannot be verified without access to the full report. This creates a credibility problem. We cannot independently verify Anthropic's claims about which jobs are actually at risk. The incentive structure is worth noting. A company that profits from AI adoption publishing research about AI's job displacement potential creates an obvious credibility question. This isn't unique to Anthropic. It's a pattern across the industry. When a company profits from selling you a solution, should you trust them to tell you how big the problem really is? This creates a classic conflict of interest. The company profiting from AI adoption is also the one telling you how big the AI disruption will be. That doesn't necessarily mean the research is wrong, but it means you should demand to see the methodology and data before accepting the conclusions. Without seeing complete methodology and data sources, we can't know if the timeline is conservative or if they're overstating AI's current capabilities to build urgency around their product. The research identifies jobs most and least vulnerable to AI automation, but without access to the actual findings, this analysis remains speculative. But here's what's really happening beneath all this. Governments are already starting to use AI to solve real problems. According to Denverite, Denver allocated $4.6 million for AI implementation to address delays in the development permitting process. Building permits in most cities are notoriously slow. You submit paperwork. It sits in a pile for weeks. Someone reviews it months later. They ask for clarifications. It goes back in the pile. Denver allocated $4.6 million for AI implementation to address permit delays, while the city is using machine learning to process applications. Specific details about which AI technologies are being deployed, expected processing time improvements, and baseline metrics for current delays have not been publicly disclosed. While specific details about which AI technologies Denver is deploying and the expected timeline for improvements haven't been fully disclosed, the $4.6 million investment signals serious commitment to transforming government efficiency. This is the kind of AI adoption nobody talks about because it's not sexy. It's not a robot doing your job. It's just making bureaucracy slightly less terrible, but scaled across every government agency in the country. This could actually save billions in lost productivity. And it's happening right now, quietly, without any controversy. This is infrastructure-level AI adoption that most people will never hear about, but it's reshaping how government actually works. Now, if you're actually paying attention to where AI is going, you're probably thinking about investment opportunities. And that's where the stock market angle gets interesting. The Motley Fool published clickbait headlines promising 75% upside from unnamed AI stocks. A classic strategy to drive subscriptions without revealing which company they're actually recommending. This is a textbook clickbait headline designed to drive subscriptions. Notice something. They won't tell you which stock in the headline. That's classic clickbait strategy. And it works because everyone wants to know the secret stock pick that'll make them rich. The article exists specifically to get you to click through and subscribe. But here's the real insight. If you want actual exposure to the AI boom, you might be looking at this wrong. Multiple financial publications including the Motley Fool have compared Nvidia and TSMC as AI investment options. Those specific financial metrics and analyst recommendations in these articles cannot be independently verified. But here's where it gets really interesting. Most people know Nvidia makes the GPUs that power AI systems. But TSMC manufactures the chips for everyone. Apple uses TSMC. Qualcomm uses TSMC. Industry reports indicate that even some of Nvidia's competitors rely on TSMC for chip manufacturing, making TSMC the critical infrastructure layer beneath the entire AI ecosystem. According to TSMC Market Data from 2024, TSMC controlled approximately 54% of the global semiconductor foundry market, making it the dominant player in advanced chip manufacturing. This dominance likely continues into 2026. Though current market share data would need verification. This means whether you're betting on OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, or any other AI company, they all depend on TSMC's production capacity to scale their operations. So if you want to make a bet on AI without picking winners and losers, you're essentially betting on TSMC as a meta play. TSMC manufactures the underlying infrastructure that powers the entire AI ecosystem. Whether Nvidia wins or loses, whether OpenAI dominates or gets disrupted, TSMC is positioned to benefit because they're the only company with the manufacturing capability to produce these advanced chips at scale. It's the pick and shovel play. You don't bet on individual gold miners. You bet on the company selling the shovels. This is the kind of boring, infrastructure-level thinking that actually makes money in the long term. So let's zoom out and see what's actually happening here. You've got Amazon quietly building healthcare AI infrastructure that captures your medical data. You've got Palantir bringing advanced forecasting to consumer prediction markets, moving government-grade AI into the mainstream. You've got Anthropic publishing research on job displacement while simultaneously building the technology that could cause it. You've got Denver using AI to fix bureaucracy at the municipal level. And you've got investors trying to figure out whether to buy Nvidia or TSMC when the real answer might be that TSMC is the more fundamental infrastructure bet. What's the through line? It's that AI is being integrated into the infrastructure of everyday life. And most people are still arguing about whether AI will take their jobs instead of paying attention to how AI is already restructuring the systems they depend on. The investment angle here is that the real winners aren't necessarily the flashy AI companies with billion-dollar valuations and celebrity CEOs. The real winners are the infrastructure players, the semiconductor manufacturers, the cloud providers, the companies that make the tools that other companies use to build AI applications. That's where the sustainable, boring, profitable growth is. Amazon's healthcare play isn't about disrupting healthcare overnight. It's about Amazon becoming indispensable to healthcare infrastructure. TSMC isn't about making the next breakthrough in AI. It's about being the only company that can manufacture the chips that make breakthroughs possible at scale. And Palantir's prediction market partnership isn't about accurately predicting the future. It's about becoming the standard for how we collectively make forecasts. These are the kinds of positions that generate wealth over decades. Here's the question you should be asking yourself. Are you paying attention to what AI is actually doing? Or are you caught in the hype cycle of what AI might do? Because the difference between those two things is going to determine whether you're ahead of this trend or behind it. The healthcare transformation, the government efficiency gains, the infrastructure consolidation, that's all happening now. The job displacement, the existential risk, the superintelligent AI that surpasses human intelligence, that's all theoretical. And yet everyone's focused on the theoretical stuff while the actual transformation is happening in the background. So here's what I want you to do. Stop thinking about which AI stocks to buy based on clickbait headlines. Start thinking about which companies are becoming essential infrastructure for AI adoption. Stop worrying about which jobs AI will replace next year. Start paying attention to which systems AI is already restructuring right now. And when you see stories about government AI initiatives or corporate AI partnerships, ask yourself not is this good or bad, but who's going to own this relationship once it's working at scale, because that's where the real game is being played. The companies that become indispensable to how AI gets deployed in the real world, those are the ones that'll be generating returns for the next decade. Everything else is just noise. Here's the real question. If Amazon's healthcare AI achieves significant adoption, if TSMC maintains its chip manufacturing dominance, and if Palantir's forecasting becomes the standard for prediction markets, will you have seen it coming? Or will these infrastructure shifts surprise you like they surprise most investors? Drop your take in the comments, and subscribe if you want to spot these infrastructure shifts before Wall Street does. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.